wasn't quite right, so they moved a little north to this magnificent natural harbor. The captain, Arthur Phillip, named the new settlement Sydney Cove, and in January 1788, the British penal colony in Australia was officially born. For the convicts, this was a sentence of hard labor in a harsh, alien world, a one-way ticket with basically zero hope of ever returning home.
From this tiny little foothold at Sydney Cove, the colony began to expand. But as it pushed outwards, two completely different stories started to unfold. For the newcomers, Australia was a land of incredible opportunity. But for the continent's original inhabitants, it was the beginning of a catastrophe.
The first and most devastating blow was invisible. The settlers carried diseases like smallpox that the indigenous population had never encountered before. With no natural immunity, the results were absolutely tragic. A single outbreak in 1789 is estimated to have wiped out about half of the Aboriginal people living in the Sydney region alone.
And as the settlers pushed further and further inland, taking over land and resources, conflict was inevitable. This wasn't a single war, but a long, brutal series of clashes across the entire continent that we now call the Frontier Wars, which lasted for well over a century.
Then, in 1851, everything changed again. Gold was discovered, the news went global, and it triggered an absolute stampede. In just 10 years, the population nearly tripled as fortune seekers poured in from Britain, America, Europe, and even China. This wasn't just a population boost, it was a complete social revolution.
The goldfields also became this pressure cooker for a new Australian identity. You had miners protesting unfair taxes and heavy-handed government rule, which led to an armed rebellion at the Eureka Stocking. And even though they were crushed militarily, the event became this legendary symbol of what Australians call a fair go. It helped forge a spirit of egalitarianism, this idea that nobody is better than anyone else and everyone deserves a fair chance. And that became totally central to the new Australian identity.
So this growing sense of a unique identity paved the way for the next logical step. By the end of the 1800s, the 6 separate colonies started thinking, hey, what if we all teamed up? They began to seriously consider uniting as a single nation, a nation that would almost immediately face its first great test on the world stage.
And so, on January 1st, 1901, it happened. The 6 colonies came together, and the Commonwealth of Australia was officially born. A continent of separate British outposts was now a single, federated nation with its own constitution and its own parliament. Just over a decade later, that brand new nation was plunged into the horrors of World War I. Fighting alongside their New Zealand comrades as the Anzacs, Australian troops earned this fierce reputation. The immense sacrifice forged a powerful national identity. The brutal, bloody defeat at Gallipoli, weirdly enough, became a symbol of the nation's character, one built